enjoy equal status under our constitution. Enda kwa library utafute kamusi ya Kiswahili. Itakusaidia. Next order. Skip. Yes, Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence on a matter, Mr. Speaker, of procedure. Mr. Speaker, you see, this house is a legislative house. And Mr. Speaker, the process of legislation begins when a bill is tabled for the first reading. And when a bill has not appeared on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, is no longer part of the process of this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and even the standing orders prohibits anticipation of debate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are very, very important and sensitive bills that come to this House. Some which are very, very sensitive in nature and very important for the country. And those kind of bills, Mr. Speaker, require first the executive to prepare it in their form and shape, and then it comes to Parliament, and that's why certain bills, there's extensive public participation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I saw somewhere yesterday, I wanted to seek the attention of the Finance Committee and Planning Chair, Mr. Speaker, speaking on the bill of the finance bill, Mr. Speaker, that we're expecting, that, Mr. Speaker, if the national executive will not be able to raise enough revenues, the chair was announcing that we may be forced to increase taxes, Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether it was in the Citizen News, Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether that information is factual, Mr. Speaker, because I want to ask, Mr. Speaker, it is not the business of this House to increase any tax. It is the business of Treasury, Mr. Speaker. We are here to safeguard the interest of the public, Mr. Speaker. And finance bill does not belong to Parliament, Mr. Speaker. For the record, finance bill belongs to the national executive through the Treasury, Mr. Speaker. And the owner of the finance bill is the Minister for Treasury, Mr. Speaker, in charge of Treasury. So, Mr. Speaker, this Parliament has suffered enough for the last 2 years by carrying burden for the executive, Mr. Speaker. We are not members of the executive. We are a legislative arm of government. And our work is very clear in the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, that we are supposed to do legislation, oversight, and representation. I want to ask my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, let us desist from defending and protecting the work of the executive in a manner that's not legislative. Let us wait until the executive brings their ideas and their proposals to the floor of this House, when we are going to have our say, and when we are going to say whether we agree with them or we disagree with them, Mr. Speaker. And I want to ask the committee chairs, please, let us not hold brief for the executive. Let us allow the executive to do their work. Because if you hold a brief for the executive, you will be speaking on behalf of the full House. And every member here is expected to take responsibility. Now I'm seeing a debate ensuing in public that there is, finance bill is like this. We don't have any finance bill. And the public needs to be informed that finance bill comes towards the end of the budgetary process. I'm happy the majority has arrived. And the finance bill comes, we are supposed to pass the finance bill by 30th of June. So it can come on 26th of June, 25th of June, 1st of June. As of today, the public is being fed with lies that there is taxation on trees, taxation on oxygen. There is no finance bill in this House. I don't think we have seen any clause of any finance bill before this House, Mr. Speaker, with your approval. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I'm saying, please, we have interest of the public to protect as a House, and we have legislations to do. Let us desist from commenting in a manner that we think we are helping the executive when we are destroying things with Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Parliament has the final say on any legislation. So let the executive bring what they want to bring. They can even say they want to tax mountains. It is us who will deny them that right. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, now final conclusion is that please, what I saw yesterday, whether it's factual, I'm not sure. The chairman is here, he can agree with us. But this is what we suffered last time. Because, Mr. Speaker, last finance bill, through the leadership of the majority leader, we ended up withdrawing all the offensive clauses of the finance bill as a house. But the lies went ahead of us. And by the time the truth arrived, people were invading parliament. So this time we want to do things in a manner that is in tandem with what the House of Parliament is expected of, by engaging the public, and we don't expect any taxation at all, because why should Kenyans be taxed more than this? So, but those people who are propagating lies, those people who are confusing Kenyans, I don't want to name names here. I know some senior members of the society who are lying to Kenyans that there is a finance bill. There is no finance bill before this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader. Hold your horses.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me first thank the Leader of Minority for having raised this issue. And indeed, I had a discussion on WhatsApp last night, very late at night. I think it was about 1:45 a.m. with the Leader of Minority over this issue, when I saw his text and I noticed he had not slept. And we were worried, Honorable Speaker, that the same thing that happened last year is likely to happen this year if we do not stem this thing in the bud as early as now. Because as the Leader of Minority says, it is true. There are people who are propagating the lie that there is already a finance bill in the House with all manner of taxes. And you know, Honorable Speaker, where I come from, there's a saying that goes that otakanywereire do ekerita. The direct translation of that is the English saying that he who wears the shoe knows where it pinches the most. It is members of this House who can tell you where it pinches the most when we allow disinformation, misinformation to take root, and propaganda, Honorable Speaker. And it is sad, Honorable Speaker, as the Leader of Minority has said, that it is the people who ought to know better who are propagating these lies. People who have even served in this House as members of Parliament. And you see them all over the media alleging all manner of taxation that is not before the House. I don't know whether they work in Treasury to know what Treasury is going to bring. The National Treasury is even yet to table the estimates for the next financial year that will then inform what needs to be financed. Because a finance bill is a consequence of what is to be expended by government. Then government decides this is how we intend to raise revenue. And that is why is a statement on revenue raising measures that the Cabinet Secretary comes to read in, at the beginning of June. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, is just to improve on Kenyans. One, not to believe the lies. Two, to fact check. Honorable Speaker, last year, 2024, Kenyans were fed with all manner of disinformation, falsehoods on what was contained in the finance bill. The few offensive clauses that were there in the finance bill, a week or 2 weeks before consideration of that finance bill in this House, none other than the chair of the Finance Committee informed the country of all the retinue of amendments that were being proposed to deal with those things that Kenyans considered offensive, like taxation on bread. You remember the taxation on motor vehicles, and all those things were removed. But Kenyans ended up saying, reject, do not amend. Honorable Speaker, if this House is told to reject every law and not to amend, then we have no business having a parliament in this country. Because legislation or the legislative process begins with legislative proposals, which are then amended as informed by Kenyans during public participation. Honorable Speaker, I do not need to belabor what happened last year, and we need not go to that pain, back to that pain. But we must inform Kenyans that we are in an era of disinformation and misinformation, especially on social media. But unfortunately, many of our colleagues in the fourth estate also pick up from that and report what is being reported on social media as lies as if it is truth. Honorable Speaker, the fourth estate has a greater responsibility to inform Kenyans on the truth more than anybody else, Honorable Speaker. What we say on this floor, Honorable Speaker, is on record. If I lie, even 100 years from today, Kenyans will get to know whether myself or the Honorable Junet lied. So when the Honorable Junet says there is no finance bill, there is none as we speak. And when the finance bill is proposed and it comes before the House, it will not be a secret. It will be published. And Honorable Speaker, I want to implore and thank the clerk's office. When we did the tax amendment laws last year, after the fall of the finance bill, we did the business laws 1 and 2, the tax procedures amendment bill of 2024, and the tax amendment laws of 2024. When we did that, Honorable Speaker, we allowed the National Treasury to first go out and inform Kenyans what they intended to do and get the views of Kenyans. We then did a very elaborate public participation through the leadership of the Finance and National Planning Committee under the leadership of Chairman Kimani Kuria. And eventually we were able to pass those laws on the 4th of December last year without incidents. Honorable Speaker, I have said before, those 4 pieces of legislation were 70% of what was contained in the finance bill. Yet they passed without incidents. 70%. Therefore, if the 2024 finance bill was as offensive as those who propagated the campaign of disinformation did, then the 4 finance laws, the 4 laws that we passed in December, would be hurting Kenyans today, but they are not.
Wind up.
Part of the benefits, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, was the tax waivers that Kenyans are enjoying today. Tax waivers that they were denied in June of 2024 through the finance bill, but they had to wait until December 27 for those tax amendment laws to become effective for them to enjoy the tax waivers. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, let me support what the Honorable Junet has said and implore on Kenyans to fact check. When bills are published, please make a point of visiting the parliamentary website. It will have bills. Those bills have, at the back of every bill, has objects of a bill. If you do not understand what is in the bill, just go to the last page and read the objects of a bill, and you'll be able to see what is intended to be changed by that particular legislative proposal. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Kimani, I will not open debate on this. You are the chair of the committee.
Yes.
And I want to speak from the authority of the chair that I have not approved any finance bill to come to this house. Neither have I approved any request for taxation measures to be brought to this house for your debate, approval, or rejection. Yes, Kimani?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. From the other side, I would like to thank my leader, minority leader, for raising this at the floor of the House. The incident, Honorable Speaker, the leader of minority is speaking to, is a show on NTV called Fixing the Nation. And I must congratulate Nation Media Group for that particular discussion. What they're trying to do and what the show was trying to do to explain to Kenyans, what is the budget making process? Where do we start? Discussion from the budget outlook paper when it comes out, to the budget policy statement, to the estimates, to if there is a finance bill. Mine was civic education to the country. And you follow the entire conversation. It was a whole 2 hours discussion. It was a very engaging discussion on how even Kenyans, if Kenyans want to have their views heard, how they need to communicate when those particular matters come, Honorable Speaker. The biggest challenge you have in this country, unfortunately, even the most educated that you think would want to read and verify statements, they do not. And unfortunately, we are reduced to very short clips. And that's why you find TikTok is now the most popular social media platform that are only 1 second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds long. And therefore, the misinformation comes under the Speaker. For the last 3 days, let me inform this House. Reject Finance Bill 2025 has been trending on X between number 3 and number 8 until the whole discussion came. In fact, I wondered, am I not the chair of Finance Committee? Because I would have seen the finance bill that people are talking about. Talking about all manner of misinformation, including that there is in the Finance Bill of 2025, there is a tax for newborn children called Taifa, something, Honorable Speaker. And unfortunately, people, I follow the comments of some of these people, you go to their accounts, you think they are distinguished scholars, and they are the ones spreading that propaganda, Honorable Speaker. I will be the least person to be on the defensive for such proposals before they come through to the House. Because when the decision comes, I have an influence with my committee on the final decision on this particular proposal. And therefore, I'm very careful in my communication. Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate. Some of us paid the ultimate price of vast misinformation. I lived away from home for a long time because of fear of attack from members of the public. I lost personal properties. And therefore, this misinformation by these people should stop. And I don't know what we need to do, Honorable Speaker, because people, they knowingly, and I say unfortunately knowingly, misinform the members of the public on this particular matter, Honorable Speaker. And I urge this House, when debate comes to this House also, despite our political divide, right now we're in broad-based arrangement. We're in agreement on many things. We don't know how it will be before we go to the next election. Even when we are in different political orientation, let us also not misinform the public just for political gain, Honorable Speaker. When we are approving those amendments, Honorable Speaker, the minority side then said reject, not amend. Even when they knew for sure that those proposals were good. Honorable Speaker, we will go, for example, to debates in some of these media stations, this particular proposal, Honorable Speaker, and on break time I will ask the person I'm debating it, why are you saying this and you know it's true? And then they tell me it's politics. Let us not play politics with misinformation. It can be very dear, it can be very hurtful, and it can lead to serious destruction that can almost be irredeemable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I want to repeat, there are no tax proposals before this House. There's no finance bill either before the Speaker for approval or before this House. And any misinformation, disinformation, or propaganda should desist forthwith, because we are raising unhelpful tensions for nothing. Let's leave it there. Clerk, call out order number 8. We put the question before we go to questions and statements. And Majority Whip, if you can check if the minister listed to answer questions is in the House. You can cause him to come to the chamber.
Order number 8, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025, second reading. Question to be put.
Honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 8, and I confirm we have quorum to vote that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025 be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Excise Duty Act and for connected purposes. Order number 7, questions and statements.
I think it's important that sovereignty tax measures, even those are tax measures. We have excess duty amendment bill, that's an excess duty, and we have an amendment to the VAT Act.
Okay. Thank you. Go to order number 9.
Order number 9, the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the 2024-2025 financial year, the responsibilities of national government and county governments pursuant to such allocations and for connected purposes.
Thank you. Majority Leader Kimani, Chairman of Finance, has asked me to clarify. I meant there is no finance bill that the Speaker has approved to come to this House. Okay, Kimani? Anything else you are doing is not in question. What was publicized is that there's a finance bill that is taxing trees, taxing all manner of things, taxing goats, taxing cows. We know very well there's no such thing before this House. Go back to order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, the CS for Education is in the House. Honorable CS, you are welcome to Parliament. To once again, I think this is your second interaction with the House. In answering questions, try and answer questions as concisely and precisely as you can. Honorable members who have questions, I'll allow the questioner and maximum 2 joyriders so that we can make progress in the interest